Hi guys, so on this episode of What's on the Bench, we're going to be making some titanium hip plates. This is 1.2mm 15333. You can see I've already marked it out. So we've gone 125 by 150. We're going to cut these using the throatless shear. And then from there, we're going to take the edges off, shape them a little bit to just give them a little bit of a contour this way. And then we'll drill them, we'll attach the points, and then they can be used to be pointed at the hip to cover gaps between cuisses and brigs. Right, so just coming back to you now, the plates have been cut. So you've seen from the time lapse, we used the shear just to cut the patterns, clamped them in the flat plane vise, used a grinder just to take over some of the sharper edges. Now what we're going to do is put a little bit of curve into these. Now the way that we're going to do that is we're going to use the anvil and we're going to angle the piece along the anvil, and we're just going to strike with the ball peen of the hammer along this centre plane here. What that's going to do is it's going to cause the material to curve a little bit. We're going to need a slight subtle curve so it kind of just follows the hip. So we'll probably do that up here, and then once we've done that, potentially we'll do it across this way as well, so it curves this way and this way a little bit. Once we've got a satisfactory curve in it, then we'll drill it. We'll add some leather, some points, and then they'll effectively fasten to cover the hips. So I'll be back with you soon. So just on the first one, so that's what we started with, flat piece of plate. That's where we finish with. So as you can see now, it's got that curve to it. And you can see that there, just so it will follow the profile of kind of the side of the hip better. These top corners have just been flared outwards. As you can see, that's done. And that's all achieved, as you can see, by just working from the centre outwards, striking vertical lines with the ball peen hammer, and it kind of encourages the material to bend like this. More concentration in the middle because that's where we want the steepest part of the curve, and then less out to the edges. So that's one. I'll do the other one next and then come back to you. So there we now have it. Plates are nice and curved to follow the profile of the hip. Top corners are flared forwards. So now what we're going to do is we're going to drill these, drill them, add the leather for the points, and then from there obviously come back to show you what they look like finished. One thing I will do after this is I'm going to actually add some sticky back foam to these, because given these are going to go up the hip, a thin layer of sticky back foam will help just with a bit of absorption. I'll come back to you once we've drilled them. Just coming back to you now. So you'll have seen in the time lapse, we've drilled it, we've cut the leather, we've riveted the points on, and we've put eyelets on. So that's one plate now finished. The only thing I'm going to add, like I've said, is I will add some soft or softer sticky back foam, thinner foam on the inside, just to protect the metal against the hip over the padding. But that's one plate. Just got to do the next one now, and then that'll be it, finished. And there we are guys, just coming back to you now, fully finished. There's two hip plates, 1.2mm titanium 15333, 150 by 125, dual point, eyeletted so that they can be threaded or pointed to your seatbelt, your harness, to protect the gap between the hips and the cuisses. This can all be done with hand tools. It can all be done with minimal hand tools. If you've got a grinder, if you've got a drill, an anvil, some rivets or nails for rivets, you can make these yourself. Just takes a little bit of time. There we go.